So the first step is going to balance the equation, but it's already done for you. So we're already there. All right, the second step is we need to identify the starting and the ending chemical, right? And we need to find their molar mass. So I want you guys to take a second to read the problem on your own. And I want you guys to just make a note. Which one do you think is the starting chemical? And which one do you think the ending chemical is? So what are you starting with? And what are you trying to find? So take about maybe 30 seconds to do that. And then we'll go over that together. All right, guys. So if we take a look at the problem, we can identify the starting and ending chemical. So I mentioned this last time, but your starting chemical is whichever chemical has a number associated with it. So if you read the problem, you're going to see that the number in the problem is 0.3 grams, and it tells you of C10H15NO, and that's pseudoephedrine. So this right here, the allergy medicine, is your starting chemical, which makes sense, right? Because we're trying to figure out how much meth you can make out of the allergy medicine. So the allergy medicine is your starting chemical. And then it's asking how many grams of meth can you make, which is this one right here. So that is your starting and your ending chemical. Okay. Everybody good with identifying that, starting versus ending? All right. So I want you guys now to finish up step 2. You have to find the molar mass of these molecules. So I want you to find the molar mass of allergy medicine, pseudoephedrine, and find the molar mass of methamphetamine. Okay, so take about a minute or two to do that. If you're working with somebody, you guys can like split it up, and then I will give you guys the molar mass in just a second to check your answer, and then we'll start the stoichiometry. All right, so let's start with the molar mass of pseudoephedrine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our periodic table to find the molar masses. So if you guys take a look at carbon, carbon is 12.01, right? And then there's 10 carbons in pseudo, so we're going to multiply that by 10. That's going to give us 120.1. You have hydrogen, there's 15 of them. Each of them are 1.01, so times 15. That'll give you 15.15. There is one nitrogen. Nitrogen is 14.01, so 14.01. There's only one of them. And then one oxygen, which is 16. So you're just going to add up these 4 numbers, and that will give you the molar mass of pseudoephedrine. Okay, and I got all these numbers from the periodic table, and I just multiplied it by how many of each element there is in the molecule. Okay, so 120.1 plus 15.15 plus 14.01 plus 16. Pseudoephedrine, the allergy medicine, is going to have a molar mass of 165.26, and make sure to label it G equals 1 mole. Okay. All right, so far so good with the molar masses? Everybody good? Okay. For meth, you can do the same thing. You guys can do all the math if you want, but you guys notice how meth is just the same thing minus the oxygen, right? So all you really have to do is subtract the oxygen from pseudo, and that'll give you your molar mass of meth. It's also in your notes. But again, you guys can use the same process if you'd like. You get 149.26 grams in 1 mole. Okay, so I'll write this right here. So 149.26 grams in 1 mole. All right, so those are the first 2 steps that we can do before we do the math, and now we can just plug it into the fraction setup, and we can finish up our stoichiometry. But I'll pause right there. Any questions on molar mass? All righty, guys. So let's figure it out. The question you guys are probably all thinking, since we talked about meth a couple lessons ago, how much meth can you make out of a box of allergy medicine? Okay, so we're going to use our fraction setup. And what we're going to do is the same thing that we learned last time. We're just going to put the numbers into the blanks, okay? So we're going to put in our starting number from the problem into this right here. So we're going to put in 0.3 grams. Now, I don't want to write this whole formula, so I'm going to abbreviate it. So instead of writing this thing, I'm going to write a PS for pseudoephedrine. You guys can do that as well. Okay, so PS. And then for meth, since that's kind of short, let's just write meth. And it kind of looks funny if we just have it in our chemistry notebook, right? Okay. So the first fraction is all about your starting chemical. So it's all going to be about pseudoephedrine. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the molar mass of pseudoephedrine into this first fraction. Okay. So take about 30 seconds to see if you guys can put the numbers in the correct positions on this fraction. Okay. So use the molar mass of pseudoephedrine. See if you guys can put it in the correct position on this fraction. All right, so if you guys take a look at the top of the fraction, you guys see moles, right? In molar mass, what's the number that's next to moles? 1. So we're going to put 1 next to moles on the top. And then if you guys notice on the bottom, there's grams, right? The number next to grams in molar mass is 165.26. So we can put 165.26 on the bottom. All right, the second fraction is going to come, the numbers are going to come from your balanced equation. And if you guys don't remember, the bottom is going to be about your starting chemical, and the top is going to be about your ending chemical. So the bottom of the fraction is going to be about your pseudoephedrine, and the top is going to be about meth. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at the balanced equation. The number in front of pseudoephedrine is 2. So we're going to put a 2 on the bottom. And then the number on top, the number on top of the fraction is going to be the number in front of meth, which is also 2. So we can put a 2 on the top as well. All right, let's finish up the stoichiometry. So the last fraction is all about your ending chemical. So in this situation, it's meth. And we're going to plug in our numbers from the molar mass into this last fraction. Okay. So I want you guys to take 30 seconds again. See if you guys can put the numbers in the correct positions on this fraction. And if you guys feel comfortable, you guys can finish calculating the entire answer. So let's see if you guys can do that. Plug it into the last fraction and see if you guys can calculate the final answer. And if you guys remember, all the numbers on the top, you're going to multiply. All the numbers on the bottom, you're going to divide. Take about 30 seconds to do that. Let me finish up. Almost done. All right, guys. So if you guys take a look at this last fraction, you'll see G on the top. The number next to G in the molar mass is 149.26. So that's what we put on the top. The thing on the bottom is moles, and the number next to moles is 1. So that's how we plug it in. Okay. So if you guys notice, this is the inverse of the first fraction because grams and moles are on opposite sides. Okay, so let's plug this into our calculator. So for the calculation, we're going to start from the left and move to the right. So we're going to take our starting number, which is 0.3. We have 165.26 on the bottom, so we're going to divide by 165.26. You got a 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. So times 2 divided by 2. And then times this number on the top, which is 149.26. That's what we're going to be plugging into our calculator. Alrighty, so we're going to take 0.3. We're going to divide it by 165.26 times 149.26. And our final answer will be 0.27. And again, give me 2 numbers after the decimal. So 0.27. And then our label for the number, the unit of measurement, will always be whatever's on top of the last fraction. So grams of meth. Okay, so there you go, guys. That is how you can calculate how much meth you can make out of a box of allergy medicine. Okay, you buy a 10-pack of pseudoephedrine, you can get about 0.27 grams of meth. Okay, so not a lot, which is why people used to buy like hundreds of boxes of this, and that's why now we can't buy unlimited amounts of pseudoephedrine.